For the last couple of days, I have been thinking about focus a lot. Focus to work on my projects and focus to solve some really, really hard issues. And what happens to me recently, more often than I want to, is that I get distracted and I feel like I'm getting distracted by myself. So the most interruptions actually don't come from the outside, but from myself. And I think that is partly my fault because I have been setting up my environment wrong, but also because it's really hard to create an environment that is not pulling you in all the time. So what I noticed is that actually on my Mac, which is my primary machine, I spend so much time on it every day. There are so many distractions just built in, and of course made worse by a lot of social media platforms that try to get our attention all of the time. So a pattern that I noticed recently while working is that every time there is a short break and I have to wait for like 30 seconds up to 5 minutes because maybe a project takes a little bit longer to compile, or there's just like something that I have to work on, my mind quickly drifts. And the same thing happens when I have to work on something really hard that makes me think. And I actually would just stay there for a while and like endure the pain of like thinking. And then my mind tries to get a quick escape, get a quick hit of dopamine, and do something else. So what I often do is I just open Safari, which is most of the time already open, right? And then once it's open, I would just quickly open a new tab and then type something like YouTube or Reddit. And you can see I kind of stopped. This is not working anymore for my Safari, which is my daily driver where I do my work in. And because that's often like the issue. Like I am in front of work, this is really, really hard. And then I want a quick escape, but every time I do that, like for example, you know how the YouTube front page looks like, you're like bombarded with a lot of videos that the algorithm knows are gonna catch my attention and I want to watch them. And that's not just time down the drain, but it also really breaks my focus and gets me out of the flow state, which is not what I want. I want to be in the flow state because it is fun and it's also where problem solving happens, at least for me. So I needed a solution for this compulsion that happens where you just quickly open a new tab in a browser and try to find a quick escape from the hard problem that you're working on. And what's happening here is just it's a hard wall. And every time I try this experiment, it completely resets me. So first of all, I notice how often I tend to do this because it's now blocked and it's like, oh, it's blocked, so I can't use it. And then I feel like a little bit of shame that I tried to do it again. And then after 2 or 3 days, the impulse to do that is completely gone because my brain understands it's just not possible on my computer, so it doesn't do that. And it's also no problem because I'm not like trying to find a way around it, because this is already a reminder enough for me that this is not working and I shouldn't be doing that. So the easy way I did this is I just put a new rule into my firewall, which is Little Snitch. It's just a deny rule that denies all of these domains that I often tend to open by mistake. So if that is something that you're also struggling with, that's my recommendation. Just add a rule in your firewall. I made it here specifically just for Safari. So I have this video experiment and I have to use YouTube. So it would be really annoying if I couldn't use YouTube at all. I can do this with another browser, which is fine because I then only do it when I want to upload the video and not while I work. Because while I work, I always have Safari open. And this is enough. This already helps me so much. And then the second thing, of course, that makes this whole thing a little bit easier, like getting less distractions, is also outside distractions. So a rule that I started like a really long time ago is my iPhone, my Mac, all my devices, they're always in do not disturb mode. No vibrations, no notification sounds, no nothing. And the only people that can break through that are having a rule inside of the do not disturb settings. So my partner, my brother, my parents, they can always like come through. because I know that they're respected and they only text me or call me when it is necessary. Otherwise, there is no interruption that I can get from the outside to notifications. And a lot of apps on my phone, on my Mac, they don't even have permission to send me notifications. I'm very conscious about that, like thinking about which app is able to send me notifications and which one's not. That is the easiest way to just get around getting random messages and then completely getting thrown off from what I was actually working on. So that is something I can recommend as well. And another thing I'm trying to work out right now, I know this is a trend, but I'm really liking the idea and I'm exploring it actively, is to have single purpose devices. So like a lot of people, they buy like a dumb phone, like a Nokia or something like that, again, to make it easier for themselves to not get distracted anymore, because they just don't have the option. That never really has been a problem for me, because I'm just not that much on my phone. The problem is more when I use a device like that, like an iPad, to try to read a book. I can get distracted because, again, there can be notifications and the iPad is super powerful. So it means I can always get distracted by myself again, because I can go to YouTube or another web page, or I can go through a research rabbit hole, which is not really productive. So when I'm reading a book, for example, it would be ideal if I wouldn't have to hold my iPad that is so powerful and has so many distractions built in. That I'm really thinking about it. I want to get a single purpose device for reading as well. And I'm really happy that my friend Pear is borrowing me the Remarkable right now. It's a really cool device. I don't know if it's the right one for me. I really like how it feels. It is an awesome size for reading books. It's really big. It's super lightweight. Still haven't charged it since he gave it to me, and I use it almost every day to read. But it is a little bit expensive for just reading. Like he uses it for note taking as well, and then I guess it makes sense. But for me, a smaller, cheaper device would probably be enough. I just need something that can support EPUB, to just like load it on the device and then I can read it on the go. Yeah, that's like the kind of things that I'm thinking about, getting my focus back. Not so much about my phone, more about on my Mac, on my main work device. I think it's very distracting, and I have to actively work on keeping an environment that supports me on doing hard work on hard projects every day without losing time from outside distractions, but also interruptions that I put on myself because of compulsion.